All right. Welcome, everybody. How's it going today? Thanks for coming. For you guys that don't know, I'm Mark Mitchell. I'm the director of our people health and wellness area, and we're working closely with Dr. Krainacker, who I'll introduce here in a second, to kind of bring this monthly or just about monthly series of lifestyle medicine. So a different topic each month, kind of around lifestyle medicine. And this month, we're going to be talking about the love for food, to a little Valentine's Day theme around food addiction, and how food addiction, everybody kind of goes through, and kind of go get into more about that. But Dr. Krainacker, he's our specialist. He has a strong passion for lifestyle medicine. He's board certified in lifestyle medicine. And what's the other? Obesity and family. Yep, obesity and family medicine as well. So without further ado, I'll let the expert come up here and chat about food addiction. But thanks for coming.
I'd like to thank everybody for showing up today. It's a beautiful day out there. It's February, I guess. We got blue sky. That's kind of nice. So I want to thank the Lifestyle Medicine, the Wellness Department for putting this on. It's much appreciated. They do some hard work behind the scenes. So what we're going to talk about today, this is our second lecture in the series, is food addiction. I mean, why do we love food that is bad for us, and how can we say no? All right. True of a lot of areas of our lives, a lot of things that we do that we know we shouldn't be doing. But there are some actual biological reasons on why we tend to love food that just isn't very healthy. Okay, so what's the definition of addiction? Okay, here's the long version. Okay, if you want to read through that briefly. I like the short version. Compulsive behaviors. Those behaviors are reinforcing, loss of control, and limiting your intake. You just want to do it over and over and over again. There's lots and lots of different types of addictions. I mean, drug is most common, of course, alcohol, sex, pornography, smoking, of course. Then you see some at the bottom here. Some people are addicted to work, exercise. The internet's a new and rising addiction. Food is what we're going to talk about today. They all have pretty similar mechanisms on how they work. So, food addiction, what is it? This is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. They're up to DSM-5T. When I started, they were back on number 3. But anyway, this is a guide to various mental disorders. There's a lot of controversy. Is there a formal definition of food disorder or not? You have some people saying no, some people saying yes. There are schools like, you may have heard of them, Harvard, Yale, that definitely say that food addiction is a real problem. Okay, hasn't quite made it in yet, but there's lots of literature suggesting that this is a real problem and a real addiction. Scientists have found that food addiction shares many characteristics with other substance abuse disorders, including drug and alcohol addiction. I'll be getting into a little bit of that. Now, next slide is the most famous food addict on the planet. One cookie is never enough. So, what are some of the signs of food addiction? And this is modified from a group of scientists out of Yale University put together the Yale Food Addiction Scale. First one is cravings. Okay. And I'm not just saying, yeah, boy, I like to have a pizza at the end of the day, or, watching the game, watching the Super Bowl, gonna have some pizza. No, this is when you wake up in the middle of the night, all right, after you've had a full meal, and you got to have pizza. Okay. It's that kind of craving. Eating more than intended. You can't eat just one, right? You sit down, I'm gonna just have that one Oreo, and then you eat the whole bag. You're eating even though you feel sick. You know it's going to make you feel bad. You know that eating that next hot wing is not good for you, but you can't stop yourself. You know you're going to feel like crap the next day. You know you're going to feel like crap in half an hour, and yet you still do it. You can't set eating rules. Right? You say, I'm going to just have one. That's all I'm going to do. And then like the woman here, that's what you end up doing. I only eat the entire bag of chips in one sitting, so I won't be tempted to eat the chips later. Okay, it's fair enough. I rationalize that. You hide food. Okay. How many people have done that? It's pretty common. Okay. You hide food at your desk. You hide food from your coworkers. You hide food from your loved ones. Your kid, you hide it from your parents. Right? Why do you hide it? Because you know you're ashamed of it. I've done that. You can't quit. No matter where you are, you can't quit. It's like he's in the hospital. It's got a hospital band on. She's got there. I'm sure what that is, but it doesn't look good. I think it's a sloppy Joe or something. That's got an onion. That might be good for it. Okay. But, all right. It's like our patients who have had triple bypass surgery and go out for a smoke break. I think that's okay. You need more food to get enjoyment. Okay. Used to be that, I don't know, a few M&Ms to get you through. Now you need the whole bag. Then you got to do the sharing size, and you got to do the whole family size. Okay. This is from, these are all the good chocolates from Hershey. I actually went to, I did my residency in Hershey, Pennsylvania. But this might as well be the vending machine out of the North Clinic. And I suspect it's the vending machine at a lot of the clinics we have in this hospital system. Withdrawal symptoms. If you don't get your food, you start feeling crappy. How many people here, did anybody here do the sugar challenge? Okay, it's a couple people, okay? That first week, did you feel that lightheadedness, that crabbiness, that irritability? All right, that's what happens. And I'll tell you why that is. But you can have the irritability. You can have sweating in some cases, the depression, the restlessness, tremors, trouble sleeping is a big one. So why does this happen? The lizard brain. This is the biochemical basis of food addiction. We call it the lizard brain. Fish brain would probably be more appropriate. But regardless, okay, for most of our evolutionary history, going back hundreds of millions of years and millions of generations, food was scarce. So when you found sugar, sugar means food. It's a good thing. So it sets up a mechanism in your brain that you need to seek this out and you need to eat it as much as possible because it may not be there the next day. Pleasure response. Now, when I initially did this, I had lots of complex slides up with all sorts of chemical reactions and dopamine and serotonin and lots of neurotransmitters. I narrowed it down to this. Dopamine is probably the main neurotransmitter in the brain that gets activated when we eat sugar. All right. Now, in a normal system, you eat a little bit of sugar, the dopamine goes up, says, hey, let's eat some more. That's good. When we have an abundance of sugar, like we do in our current society, that dopamine system gets overloaded. And there's several other neurotransmitters where the same thing happens. Okay. Well, like with other addictions, alcohol, cocaine, various other drugs, the dopamine system starts to get overloaded. Your brain doesn't want lots of neurotransmitters, chemicals being shot around. So what happens is it starts shutting down some of those dopamine receptors in the brain. Well, and when that happens, you have to eat more to get that same buzz from the sugar. So that's what's going on, right? That's why when you initially start eating that little bit of sugar, it gives you a buzz, but eventually you have to eat more and more and more and more. It's a brain thing. Okay. So you need increased amounts of food to receive reward. Now this shows a normal brain, okay? Now, the red areas show an area with normal pleasure and interest, okay? High dopamine content. That's what happens in our brain when we're not having addiction of some sort, okay? Now, this is the brain of a cocaine user, and there's the brain of an alcoholic. The yellow and the green have lower levels of dopamine. So you see that starting to show up. They don't have the same amount of dopamine that's happening. So in order to overcome that, they have to consume more and more of whatever their addiction is, either the cocaine or the alcohol. For a person who's overweight, you see the same thing. There's not much difference between that person consuming lots of processed food and a person who's consuming a lot of cocaine or alcohol. It's that same pleasure center that's being affected in the brain. So what are some of the foods that do this? There it is, processed foods. You're going to hear that again and again and again and again from me. Every time I give a talk, I'm going to be slamming processed foods. But hamburgers, a French fries, a pizza, processed meats, ice cream, whatever that is, cupcakes, cakes, bread, sugar, processed sugar, okay, cane sugar, right? We're not meant to eat as much as we do. 100 years ago, we were eating 4 pounds of processed sugar per year. Now we're eating 130, and it's everywhere. It's hard to avoid if you're eating processed foods. Then ketchup, come on. High fructose corn syrup. This stuff's banned in parts of Canada, by the way, because it's considered so destructive. Okay. High fructose corn syrup, it's made from corn, right? It's addictive. It activates the pleasure centers in the brain more so than does the cane sugar, more so than beet sugar. And if you think for a minute the food industry doesn't know that, you're being very naive. Okay. I like this little poster. Ah, shoot. With every purchase of a, what's just going to happen? With every purchase of a big gulp, you get diabetes, heart disease, obesity, liver failure, and cancer for free. Foods high in saturated fats, okay? And they're everywhere. Right? This is showing some of the obvious ones: French fries, pizza. There's a tomato there, can't be all bad. But the donuts, processed meats. Okay. The World Health Organization has classified processed meat as a class 1 carcinogen, just like tobacco. The only reason we do not classify processed meats as a class 1 carcinogen in America is because of the industry. They have stopped that from happening. Okay. But the World Health Organization has declared that. The processed meat industry has recommended that we withdraw from the World Health Organization because of what they did. That happens a lot, by the way. The sugar industry wants us to get out because of what they say about sugar. So processed meats, this is bacon, pastrami, pepperoni, salami. I'm vegetarian, I don't remember them anymore, but. So how do we treat this? We have lots of things that do work, but no one treatment has been shown to be the most effective. First thing, it's rather obvious. Try to remove addictive foods from your house. And yes, I know it's easy to say that, okay? But it's the first step. Try to get the foods you're addicted to the way. Now, there's nothing stopping you from going down to the convenience store and buying it in the middle of the night, but it's one more thing you have to do if you have that addiction. Okay? Try not to have it at work. Instead, you have the healthy alternatives available. Lots of fresh fruits, vegetables. I didn't plan this, Kim, but there's a beet for you. Okay. There's some pumpkin seeds, cucumber, salmon. Okay. All these things are very healthy. They do contain natural sugars. It's going to blunt that withdrawal effect. Water will also help. Read your labels. Hidden high fructose corn syrup is everywhere. Anybody want to guess what this was off of? High fructose corn syrup?
Ketchup.
Ketchup. Actually, no, that was ketchup there. But this was actually, there's a can of tomato paste. Eat sugar and tomato paste. It tastes so good on its own. Okay, of course, in Coke. I mean, name something, it's in it. I mean, it's not just the things you'd expect it to be in. Okay, but it's in mayonnaise. Right? Some vinegars have it. Right? Things that are great on their own, they're putting sugar in now. Some of the great treatments, meditation. Now how does this help? Meditation calm down those neurotransmitters in the brain, those things that are crying out, I need sugar so that I can get these neurotransmitters working again. Meditation helps with that. Like I talked in our last lecture, there's lots of different types of meditation. Okay. I can't sit in a lotus position and meditate. That's not who I am. All right. I get 10,000 different thoughts that come in. Okay. But I can do walking meditation. Heel ball toe, heel ball toe, heel ball toe. Okay. You can do that. You can do reading meditation. You simply take a passage. I don't care if it's from scripture. I don't care if it's from a romance novel or Shakespeare, something that interests you. You just think about that. It's going to calm down that brain for 5 or 10 minutes. Okay. Martial arts work. I do Tai Chi, right? It's very slow and rhythmic because I'm getting old. Okay. But I used to do Taekwondo. That can also be a form of meditation. It's something that's going to clear your brain. Cognitive behavioral therapy. We have studies showing that this works. Okay. Now, what is cognitive behavioral therapy? It's almost the exact opposite in some ways of meditation. Meditation, you're trying to clear the mind. Just you're trying to confront those thoughts directly. Like what are those thoughts that are creating these feelings that make you hungry? And then the feelings will give you the behavior, and then the behavior again give you different thoughts. Okay. We have excellent behaviorists in our organization who can help with this. We have Brittany out at our office who's excellent in cognitive behavioral therapy. Exercise. Cannot say enough about exercise. Right? Exercise creates endorphins. Endorphins are feel-good molecules in the brain. That's what we want. Okay? They help blunt a lot of the neurotransmitter shortages that are going on. Overeaters Anonymous. This is not for everyone, but it does work. Okay, it's a support group. It's similar to Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Smokers Anonymous, some of those. All right. You have to have a belief in a higher power for this to work. Right. So it's not for everyone. Right. But if you do have a belief in a higher power of some sort, this can be very effective. And it can give you a network of people that can help you to overcome those cravings. Medications, have any of them shown to be effective? Not really. Now you would think some of our, like antidepressants, for example, They do work on dopamine or serotonin. You think they would give us some degree of relief, has not been shown to be the case. Power of nature. Nature is meditative. It gives you exercise. If you're out there with other people, you're getting some social involvement. Okay. Anyone know where this is? Anybody want to guess? You can see it from here.
Giant.
No, no. Wrong range. No, no. It's not Baldy. I'm actually in a saddle between the two peaks of Baldy. Looking at the lupins there. Took that last July. But, okay. Now, do you need to hike in and climb 3,000 feet? No. Okay. We have an excellent trail system, but you don't even need that, right? Get some plants. Plants in your office, in your home space, right? That has been shown to dramatically decrease your need for some of these chemical neurotransmitters. Right? So it can be something as simple as just getting get a cactus, or even something that simple. Get some flowers. Get out and garden. Yes, I know it's too early, but still, I mean, garden season our last freeze is May 20th every year on average. Okay, so get out and plant a garden. So it's not just your imagination. It's real. It's a real thing. When you're having those cravings, they are real. Food addiction and food serenity. Get your freedom back. And from the great Thich Nhat Hanh, he was a Vietnamese Buddhist, just passed away a year ago. He won the Nobel Prize several years ago as well. But mindful eating allows us to fully appreciate the sensory delight of eating and to be more conscious of the amount and nature of all that we eat and drink. Eat slowly. Have conversations while you're eating. It'll slow you down. And then you can move on to freedom. So moving forward, remove addictive foods from your house. Remove addictive foods from your workspace. I know it's hard around here. Okay, out of the North Clinic, I can tell you 3 areas where we have lots of junk food that I can access anytime. All right, but try to avoid those areas. I suspect every place in the hospital is that way. Replace with healthy foods. Have carrots around. Okay, if you find carrots boring, okay, have some hummus with them, or bring something that you don't find boring. Grapes are in season right now. Strawberries are coming into season. Okay? Use spices. Never had mushrooms that you put cinnamon on that, in my opinion. Okay, but yeah, simple things. Try something that you'll like. Develop an exercise program. This can be something as simple as going out for a walk. Yes, I know it's snowy, it's icy, it's cold around here, but that's the hand we've been dealt. Okay, but so walk in the hallways if you have to. A number of nurses out of my clinic do walk the halls. It's a large building. Ask your provider for help if you need it. They'll have some ideas. I'm always open. I'm always available as well. And see, I think we have some people from our lifestyle medicine partners here in attendance. Jen here? Oh, there she is. Okay. Can't see anybody out there. Jen and Haley? Hi. They are from Nutrition Services. And then we have, see, should have Alicia and Callie? Yes, okay, thank you, okay. And Kim Lloyd, I'm going to point you out with a little thingy here. Harvest of the month. And we don't have anybody here from Capital, since the Capital Sports, Capital Fitness this time, but everybody, as part of our employment, we do have a free membership. So take advantage of it.
I'm gonna,
We have our free membership. Yeah, that's when I'm going to be at. We have a free membership to that gym. And the great thing now, hey, it's the middle of February, so all the New Year's resolution people are gone. Okay, so it's not quite as crowded as it was a month ago. So, and Kim, I'm going to see if I can't get your thing to work here.
Good. We have a
okay,
video, a short video for,
But it's not showing up there.
I'll fix that.
This is a video on harvest of the month. A little teeny bit about sugar in it, okay? Ignore that part, okay?
QNAK, UK. On that bottom YouTube website thing. I5YHCTGUNAK.
While we're working on that, does anybody have any questions? Like, that I can answer?
So if you have that immediate craving, like after work is the worst for me, like, and
Mhm.
it's the sugar, the chocolate, something,
Right.
what's the advice on redirecting that and
Right. How do you normally handle that when you have that craving?
have whatever I want?
It is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay, so again, try to do something that's going to distract you. All right. Back in the day, when I was addicted to this stuff, when I weighed 40 pounds more than I do now, I would drop and do 10 push-ups. Okay. It was something that would work for me. Okay? But these addictions are real. Okay. I've been vegetarian for 30 years. I still feel the call of the Oreo. Okay. And it's everything I know that's bad about it. I can still go down and scarf down a whole bag. Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes just drinking a large glass of water or something will take that away, just because you're, like, there's no room now, so.
Right. And that can help also. Okay. Another thing you can do, which I recommend to some of my patients, okay, if you really feel the need for something sweet, all right, always have a bag of dried organic mangoes from Costco. Okay, because those things are sweet. They're going to give you that sweet fix right away. Okay, I've got bags of these hanging around my office in my house. Okay, but the other thing is, if you want something liquid, if you need the soda, get some ice water, get some sugar-free Crystal Light, just mix in a little bit. That'll kind of take the edge off.
Okay.
What do you think about those Laura bars? I found those helpful when I was working through this crumble cookie addiction that I have. The Laura bars have just 3 ingredients usually, like it's either pineapple or coconut or dates and that sort of
Right.
thing. So it's just all fruit, but there's no other ingredients besides that.
Whenever I backpack, I live on Lara bars. So yeah, yes,
Help my craving.
yeah, Lara bars do help. You got to be a little careful with some of the Lara bars, like the chocolate chip cookie ones do. Yeah, they do have a lot more processed things than that. I'm sort of addicted to the lemon one. Okay, I love the lemon ones, but the blueberry, the apple pie, they're all really good.
Yeah, the cherry pie just has 3 ingredients and pineapple upside down cake
Yes.
has 3 ingredients as well. So
So
it's been a,
I didn't even know they had those ingredients.
Yeah.
Now I got to look for it.
Target is right.
Target?
I found, yep,
Seriously? Okay.
yep,
Okay.
yeah. Those helps a lot.
Okay.
This
I went-
month's harvest of the month
Oh, yeah,
is
but-
beets.
In
Did you know the Romans were the first to
The
cultivate
month-
beets for their
month. That last month. I
Excellent.
was eating 16 from.
Very good. Very good.
That was a lot and mind boggling to think about how much fat and sugar and calories eating those.
Yeah, I kind of cringed when I saw that place was opening.
Could the folks online hear the video sound?
Yes, we did.
Thank you.
And if anyone online has questions too, obviously feel free to unmute yourself. We can hear you in the room. Or drop it in the chat.
Turn up the volume.
This month's harvest of the month is beets. Did you know the Romans were the first to cultivate beets for the roots? Before this, only the leaves of beets were eaten, which are similar to chard. In addition to a food source, beets have been used historically as animal feed and medicine. Beets are delicious when eaten raw, roasted, steamed, or baked. You can grate raw beets to add color, flavor, and nutrition to salads. Beet greens can also be eaten raw, cooked, or in recipes in place of greens, such as spinach. These versatile root vegetables come in a variety of colors, including red, pink, golden, and red and white striped. Beets are hardy and ready to be harvested in the late fall. Although beets are not grown during the winter in Montana, they can be kept fresh in the right storage conditions for months, making them a good vegetable for the winter. Remove beet greens and stems from the root before storing in the refrigerator to keep them fresher longer. Many small farms throughout the state grow table beets, the type of beets we eat raw or cooked, and sell them at local farmers markets, to restaurants, or at grocery stores. But did you also know that Montana is a major producer of a different kind of beet, sugar beets? Although related, sugar beets and table beets are very different. Sugar beets are larger, off-white in color, and starchy. Table beets are smaller and come in many colorful varieties. Sugar beets have a different nutrient composition than table beets and are used to produce things like white table sugar or molasses. Sugar beets are an important crop in Montana's economy, with Montana farms producing over 1.1 million tons of sugar beets in 2019. Table beets are a great source of potassium, vitamin A, vitamin C, iron, and magnesium, all of which are important for growing bodies and athletes. Depending on your age, gender, and how physically active you are, the USDA My Plate guidelines recommend eating between 1 and 3 cups of vegetables daily to maintain a healthy and active lifestyle. Beets are a flavorful and healthy addition to many meals or on their own. Let's make a tasty and nutritious recipe: roasted beets. Beets are a delicious and colorful source of many vitamins and minerals. Enjoy Montana beets all month long. The Montana Harvest of the Month program showcases a different Montana-grown food each month in Montana communities. We hope you'll join us in tasting Montana this month.
I do want to point out Kim Lloyd, our Harvest of the Month person. So I think this is Beets, isn't Buffalo next month or something?
I think it's whole foods next month. Yeah, May is our beef spice month.
Okay. So, it was pointed out to me, asking him, the person who was, hungry at the end of your shift.
Hmm.
All right. One thing you want to do, half hour before your shift ends, start tanking up on the fluids.
Okay.
They sell those big bottles now over at Costco, like half-gallon things, and carry one of those around with you. So that will help as well.
Okay.
Any other questions? It's a great video. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we've been showing it in fourth grade classrooms this month and my
Right.
kids have been drinking some beet smoothie that's on the back of this handout and loving it. So.
You haven't lived till you've had grilled beets with garlic and oregano. Beets are very easy to grow, by the way, in the garden in Montana. Okay, they're kind of a nice crop. They're not like zucchini where if you turn your back, they go from that to that. They can grow pretty much, as long as you want to let them go. And, but you get a real nice, after about 2 or 3 months, you get a real nice ball and they clean up very nicely. Nice thing about them is you can chew on the tops. They're kind of a nice whole food that you can be eating. You can eat them raw if you want, but I normally grill them. But I don't use oil.
Did you say oregano and what was your?
Garlic.
Garlic and
Yeah. Garlic makes everything better. So, any other questions? I sincerely thank everyone for coming. I believe our next one is March 31st.
So we'll be back in the education center for.
Right. Get them blood or something there tonight.
Yes.
So,
Thank you guys all for coming and
Thank
yeah, hang out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
We did